I've now watched 3 Twilight films in their entirety. And much like the people in this film, any emotion that I used to have inside of me has been completely stripped clean. And yet we forge on together, this time talking about Twilight Eclipse. It's gonna be awful. Before I torture myself by explaining what happens in this crap show, if you wouldn't mind subscribing to the channel and hitting that notification bell, that way future videos show up directly in your feed, including, most likely, 2 more Twilight roasts. Alright, let's begin. We start in the rain. A male model throws a fit, gets bitten, and the scene ends. What could this possibly all be about? I ask myself every time I watch one of these films. We're now with our plucky protagonist, and I'm using the word plucky ironically. Isabella Swan is reciting a beautiful poem to her boyfriend Edward Cullen. She being around 18 years of age, he being 105. It's the perfect Hollywood couple. They lay in a bed of flowers, Edward's skin sparkling in the sun, as all vampires do. He's really pushing to get a ring on her finger. That's how the last film ended, New Moon. I hate that I know the titles of these now.
Hey, it's Jake. Leave a message.
Bella's best friend Jacob, last name eludes me, Werewolf, Jacob Werewolf, is currently not talking to his best friend. Listen, he might be a werewolf, but he's doing nothing but ghosting this poor girl. You see, in Twilight New Moon, the second film in the Twilight Saga, Bella made a choice, and the choice was for the vampire. Oh, I know that stings, Jake. We're back at the iconic Forks High School that has 0 identifiable features about it. The whole gang's hanging out. Alice is acting a little off. Perhaps she's jonesing for one more baseball game. I just need one more game from these guys. It was so perfect in the first movie. Edward's outside with Bella and her father, and he informs them that he has 2 tickets to paradise. They're actually to Florida. To see her mom.
There's 2 tickets? Super.
Now in Florida, the Swan ladies have a heart-to-heart. Or whatever Bella has in replace of a heart. E-Dog's in the kitchen, creepily watching them. I suppose he can't step out into the sun, or he might sparkle! Ah! Mama Swan gives her a blanket of memories. That's nice. She can set that gift right next to the shitty dream catcher Jake gave her in the last film. I have no idea what the point of this scene even is, because just like that, we're done with it. I'm sensing emo time.
She's almost here.
And Fast Pitch senses trouble. We have a chase in the forest. Victor's back, baby! But the fiery redhead from the first 2 films looks to have gotten a makeover. Hang on a tick. She's been completely replaced! That's Bryce Dallas Howard! We got her! We got a Howard in this one! She's super awesome and fast. None of the other vampires can catch up to her. I have no idea what the point of this scene is. I guess she's just in their territory all the time because she wants to get revenge on Bella. I mean, actually, she wants to get revenge on Edward by killing Bella since he killed her lover in the first film. But none of these scenes last for more than 3 minutes because we have to move on. There's so much to cover in what I imagine is an incredibly powerful and potent book. Taylor Lautner returns as Patrick Swayze from Roadhouse. I mean Jacob. He always looks like he just got out of the shower. Now with the wolf pack, Swan feels right at home. Some new chick is introduced. She seems like she has a stick up her ass, and Jake tells Bella how important it is to imprint on your lover. A deep, pure, almost lustful love for someone else. Kind of like what I have going on with Sydney Sweeney. And she too has with me, I tell myself. Jake gets furious with the idea of Bella becoming one of those disgusting vamps.
Bella, they're not even alive.
Yeah? And they also don't turn into disgusting wolf creatures and feast upon innocent little critters in the forest, Jake. Pretty boy from the beginning is back, now looking like an evil Ellen DeGeneres. He sneaks into Bella Swan's house. See, here's where I'm confused because I thought vampires had to be invited into the home. He was never invited into the home, yet he's inside the house. I'm sure they'll explain it. I'm sure it will all be cleared up. It will never be cleared up. The Cullen family is on top of this, so they're trying to piece it together. What vampire went into this place? Who is responsible for it? We must protect our Bella at all costs. She's perfect. Unfortunately, we also have a tiny plot about how these vampires are malnourished because they've been protecting Bella's ass for 3 movies now, and they haven't had time to go out and properly refuel, get more of that blood in their system. And because of this, they now have to make a pact with Jake to take care of Bella so they can go far away and feast. And I gotta tell you, Jake is into it. He's half-mast at this point. I mean, I am too, but that's irrelevant. Edward, however, due to the lack of blood in his system, couldn't get an erection if he even tried.
Edward hated the idea, but it wasn't about rivalry anymore. It was about my safety.
Side note, just an observation, Bella has been randomly narrating a lot in this film. I don't know if she's talking to us. I don't know if she's writing in a journal. It's never clear. We never actually find out why and who and what she's talking to. Probably the voices in her head. Jake is finally in his true form, shirtless. Bella, now privy to a campfire retreat, is the first outsider to ever be welcome in. Of course she is. She's so damn lovable. It's Bella. It's Bella. And during the story, Swan looks like she's gonna nod off at any second, slapping herself to stay awake. Oh my God, the story never ends. I can just picture her going, I miss Edward. I wish I was with Edward. I have to keep my mouth open to pretend like I'm her. I wish Edward was here. 37 agonizing minutes into this film, and I have now realized we have jumped between about 30 different locations, all of these scenes lasting for about 2 minutes. Plot is all over the place. She cuddles with Blandward for a little bit, sulking some more about how she has yet to be turned into a vampire for some reason. She's kind of like, oh man, it would sure be nice if someone would turn me. Actually, I don't even know if that's how a vampire is made in the Twilight series, considering everything else is ass backwards. Maybe the vampire just has to blow a kiss. Whew, I'm a vampire now. Come to think of it, I'm actually confused why she hasn't been turned yet. The last movie led up to this moment. They lounge around so much in this film, you would wonder if time just has no meaning at all. Oh, now she's fighting with Jake. He knows she loves him, even though she explicitly says over and over she does not. But come on. What woman on earth could possibly resist the washboard abs this guy is rocking? He makes his move. She's not thrilled. And since this is our lovely Bella Swan, she punches him in the face, thereby breaking her hand. Well, that was a 5-second scene, so we gotta jump somewhere else. Back at the Cullen house, Rosalie informs Bella that she hates her. Fucking finally someone says it. They tell it how it is. I'm now Team Rosalie. You go, girl.
Bella, I envy you.
No, come on! Rosalie decides, in her infinite wisdom, that based on Bella's past performance of never listening when anyone talks to her, that she's the perfect person to listen to her while she talks. Here comes another backstory! Bella's like, oh, no, more story time. I miss Edward. After telling her the tale of how she was viciously assaulted in the streets by several men and didn't have a choice but to become a vampire, Bella retorts, well, my life's not perfect either. Sure, your mom and dad are both great and they let you get away with basically anything. You can come and go from school as you wish, skipping multiple days in a row, no consequences, you pass, flying colors. But it's that uncontrollable love for Edward and the other hot guy who's pining for you that keeps Bella up at night. What a tortured soul.
I understand.
She's 18 and an idiot. Dakota Fanning's in the house. She and the cool vampires that wear black all the time are checking out the chaos in the streets. They created a bunch of blood-sucking dipshits that do nothing but feast all day. They call them newborns. Ooh, scary. And the idea here is if they mess with enough of the Cullens' territory, the Cullens will show up to try to protect it and won't be able to handle the newborns because the newborns are super powerful for a while, as all vampires are. But what's the point of killing the Cullens? We don't have time to worry about it. It's been 10 seconds. We got to move on to something else. I'm sure the book or books do a better job explaining whatever the hell is happening in this movie, but holy crap, I do not understand any of it. There is so much nonsense going on now. But let's throw it aside because it's graduation day. Dum, 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 dum. Graduation day just happened. Things just happened in this film. No lead up to the scenes.
Who the hell knows?
It's just boom, we're in Florida with the mom. Boom, we're now graduating high school. Kaboom, there's evil newborn vampires killing a bunch of people in Seattle. Skadoosh, more crap. Jake shows up at the grad party.
What are you doing here?
You invited me, remember?
Awkward! His new thing is entering scenes by slowly turning over the shoulder. Classic Jake.
Graduation present. I made it myself.
Oh, Jesus, baby, mother of God, not another gift! As if we forgot how shitty that dream catcher was. Now he's giving her a little doggy keychain for her wrist. Subtle. Fast Pitch senses the crazy newborns are nearby. Chilling stuff here. An alliance is formed between the Cullens and the werewolves. They need to team up to stop the newborns. Bella must be protected at all costs!
Look at us, working together.
Holy shit. Are we getting a training montage? Oh, well, that was disappointing. Werewolves show up, but they refuse to participate, and they won't even give them the honor of going into their human forms. Quick side observation, they don't look like werewolves at all. They're just big-ass regular wolves. They're on all fours. Typically, a werewolf stands up on his hind legs. That's kind of the thing. Half man, half wolf. Jasper's chatting with Bella now, and...
Until...
Wait.
Till I met a certain immortal. Maria.
No fucking way. Another story. This is the third time Bella's had to sit and listen to a backstory from some random ass character. What do these stories have to do with anything even? And I know she is not listening at all. This is truly the worst day of her life. Also, keep in mind, this clown tried to kill her in the last movie when she cut her finger on some wrapping paper. She's the worst. Protect her at all costs. There is still a full 60 minutes of movie left. I'm having a really hard time believing people willingly paid money to go watch these films. I can barely get through this and someone paid me to watch it. Thanks, Vicky, on patreon.com/AdamDoesMovies. Another day, another argument about how best to protect Bella. Since Swan has such an alluring scent for vampires, the newborns are naturally attracted to her. This is my favorite plot to the film because Jake has such a pronounced smell as well, and not in the good way.
Whatever. Just tell me the plan.
It's able to kind of counter Bella's. So he's gonna carry her like an infant baby and run around like a jackass. And since none of these scenes have any sort of natural progression or seamless transition, we're just back at Bella's house. Jake nowhere to be found. I guess he dropped her off and left. Who knows? That was a 4-second scene. Not to be outdone with Jake's crappy dog bracelet, Edward presents a present of his own. A heart charm. She told her dad in the previous scene that she's a virgin. And while that might be true, that's not stopping her from wanting to bang the crap out of this guy every time they meet. And again, in this scene, she's like, hey, let's do this. And it looks like we're finally gonna get the hot, steamy, raunchy, vamp on human sex.
Not tonight.
Come on! He will not sleep with her until there's a ring on that finger. Is he Mormon? What is going on with this dude? My grandparents would be very proud of you, young man.
Would you do me the extraordinary honor of marrying me?
Pump the brakes. Is he proposing right now?
Yes.
Holy shit, she said yes! She said yes! I wonder what she said last time when he proposed to her at the end of New Moon. And the film ended on a cliffhanger with her just going, Was that it? Did she just go, and he left? Okay, bye. I guess I'll try again later. Who knows? Who cares? Meanwhile, Bryce Dallas Coward and Ellen Degenerate are finishing up their scheme. They're finally gonna wipe out the Cullen family once and for all. Isabella Swan boy swaps again. She says goodbye to Edward as he makes his way up a mountain. Meanwhile, they head the other direction, through the woods and up the mountain, where they'll meet with Edward. What? What was the point of that? Now in the tent, Bella shivers from the cold. And Edward can't keep her warm because he's dead, and he produces no body heat. No one in the Cullen family, who has a combined age of 1,000 or so years, thought to maybe pack a couple blankets for this pathetic loser. No, and that's okay because Jake is here. And he's of course shirtless. He couldn't wait to jump in the sack and provide some body heat while fiancé Edward stews looking at them both. This would be uncomfortable and awkward if it wasn't funny as hell. Well, I mean, it's all three, actually. Remember, Edward can read minds, except for Bella's, because she's so special and important. And he knows that Jake is dying to ram a stake right into Bella. And by stake, I mean his penis. Now on what is clearly a soundstage, Kristen Stewart pretends that she's cold still, although there is no cold air coming from her mouth, which is always opened. So there should just be a cascading waterfall of breath coming out of her. Jacob is pissed that he had to spend the night with the biggest set of blue balls anyone has ever had. But old Swan is gonna make it worth his while.
Kiss me.
Demanding he kiss her and she does not have to ask twice. I had no idea it was the 4th of July, because there's fireworks up in those mountains. Edward, standing below like an NPC, understands her affection for Jake. In fact, I think he's a little were-curious. We have a toddler fight. Newborns v. werewolves. Edward, protecting his lady, keeps an eye on things from a distance. Oh snap! Riley and Victoria have found them.
You're dead.
Oh, thankfully, Werewolf Seth, bad name, intervenes.
Victoria!
Finish her! Edward wins. Fatality. Victoria, being built up as this badass for 3 movies, is unceremoniously killed after a little scuffle with Edward. Seth, forgetting how to bite a person in the face, just toys with his food until finally killing the guy off. Hold up, Jacob is down! We have a werewolf down, folks! He's carried away screaming by a shirtless pack of men. And now this is the only way I can achieve climax. Dakota Fanning and the other Volturi finally show up. Impressed that the Cullens, the werewolves, and, in a sense, Bella were able to fend off the herd. That was 10 seconds well spent. We're now back at the Wolf Lodge, and Jake, screaming in pain, has requested the presence of the one, the only, Isabella Swan. He's really not doing a good job hiding that he's going for the sympathy vote, and yet, she still doesn't bite. We're back in the Field of Flowers. Hopefully this trash is almost over. Edward no longer sparkles. I guess that just comes and goes whenever he feels like it. It's pretty damn bright outside. So, just so we're clear, the last stupid-ass crap movie ended teasing that Bella would be turned into a vampire. We went through all this dumb crap, and yet, no turn. Bella's still a human. Instead, we get a marriage proposal again. The movie ends with Edward slipping it right on her ring finger, but it might as well be her middle finger, because this was a giant fuck you to me. What even happened in this movie? They killed off Victoria, who was useless? That's all the progression the film had. Oh, Jake still loves Bella? Shocker. Somehow these films continue to get worse. It's insane. That's Twilight Eclipse. The worst of the 3 Twilight films that I've seen out of 3. At this point, I can only pray to the gods that Vicky does not come knocking at my door and request, nay, demand, the last 2 movies in this saga. I believe there are 5. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I missed something, the deeper, more complex, more nuanced story that's being told in these films. Let me know by leaving a comment below what your thoughts on Twilight Eclipse are and the series as a whole. Please think of subscribing to the channel, liking this video, sharing it around, and just make a note that I'm also on audio platforms if you want to hear it in a podcast form. You have Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all that crap. So lots of ways to find and support the channel, and I would appreciate anything you can do. All right. Hopefully I see you next time. Take care. Thanks again for watching the video. If you wouldn't mind, I would appreciate it if you checked out patreon.com/AdamDoesMovies. That's where fans of my channel go to help support it. There are different tiers with different offerings, exclusives every month. We got multiple movie reviews. There's a vlog monthly. And even if you don't want to plop down $1 a month, you can just sign up for Patreon for free and become a member at no charge. Appreciate your time. Thanks.